This morning, a new discovery inside the Great Pyramid of Giza. Behind these gigantic chevrons above the main entrance, for the first time, a look inside, a precise analysis, a real characterization of the North Face corridor.
What if I told you that the most mysterious structures on Earth are hiding mysteries so significant that powerful officials will do anything to stop us from digging under them? Welcome, deep thinkers, to another mind-blowing journey into the prohibited secrets of our ancient past, the forbidden zone beneath our feet. Picture you're standing at the base of the Great Pyramid of Giza,
home to the world's most iconic monuments, the mighty pyramids of Giza.
This colossal monument that's been puzzling humanity for thousands of years. The limestone blocks tower above you, each one weighing more than your car. But here's the kicker. What you're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. Literally. Christopher Dunn, a master craftsman and precision engineer with decades of experience in aerospace manufacturing, has been asking the uncomfortable questions that mainstream archaeology refuses to touch. And what he's discovered about the restrictions on pyramid excavation will shake you to your core. You see, when most people think about the pyramids, they imagine these ancient tombs built by pharaohs thousands of years ago. But Dunn's revolutionary research suggests something far more incredible and far more dangerous to the established narrative. Back in 1986, during his first expedition inside the Great Pyramid, Dunn made a discovery that would change everything. He found mysterious slots and channels carved with impossible precision into the solid granite. But here's where it gets interesting. These weren't decorative features. They were functional components of something much bigger. Armed with nothing but a borrowed soup spoon from his hotel, Dunn literally dug into history. While tourists and guides looked at him like he'd lost his mind, he carefully excavated dirt and debris from these enigmatic slots. What he found defied everything we thought we knew about ancient Egyptian capabilities.
A groundbreaking discovery, solving one of ancient Egypt's greatest mysteries.
The precision was staggering. We're talking about cuts so perfect, so mathematically precise, that even with our modern computer-controlled machinery, we'd struggle to replicate them. The sides of these slots were parallel to within thousandths of an inch. The bottom surfaces were perfectly flat and horizontal. The Giza power plant theory. But here's where Dunn's background as a precision engineer becomes crucial. He didn't just see pretty stonework. He saw machine components. He saw evidence of a sophisticated technology that mainstream science insists never existed. Dunn's groundbreaking theory suggests that the Great Pyramid wasn't a tomb at all. It was a power plant, a massive crystalline machine designed to harvest and convert Earth's vibrational energy into usable electricity. Sound crazy? Well, Nikola Tesla didn't think so. The legendary inventor was fascinated by the same principles Dunn discovered decades later. Think about it. The pyramid's internal chambers and passageways aren't random. They're positioned with deliberate mathematical precision to maximize acoustical properties. The king's chamber resonates at the exact frequency of the Earth itself. The granite beams above it are cracked in specific patterns that suggest they once vibrated with incredible force. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Recent discoveries using ground-penetrating radar and seismic analysis have revealed something that has authorities scrambling to maintain the status quo. There's a massive underground complex beneath the Giza Plateau. Structures that extend hundreds of feet deep, connected by tunnels and chambers that dwarf anything we can see above ground. Italian and Scottish researchers claim to have detected vertical shafts dropping over 2,100 feet beneath the surface. We're talking about cube-shaped chambers, cylindrical structures, and an intricate network that suggests the pyramids we see are just the visible portion of an enormous ancient facility. In early 2025, a controversial rumor began circulating in tabloid outlets like Radar Online and OK Magazine. The precision evidence. Dunn's analysis of other Egyptian monuments reveals the same shocking level of precision. His computer analysis of the statues of Ramses II
the sarcophagus of Ramses II, one of Egypt's most famous pharaohs.
Shows that the left and right sides of the faces are perfect mirror images of each other. We're talking about accuracy that surpasses what modern sculptors can achieve. But it's his examination of the Serapeum that really drives the point home. These mysterious underground tunnels contain granite boxes that are machined to tolerances of just a few thousandths of an inch. The surfaces are so flat, so perfectly finished, that they represent some of the finest examples of precision engineering on the planet. How did ancient Egyptians, working with copper tools and wooden ramps according to mainstream archaeology, achieve precision that rivals our best modern machinery? The answer is simple: they didn't. They had access to technology that we're only now beginning to understand. This isn't just about Egypt. Similar megalithic structures around the world show the same impossible precision. The massive blocks at Pumapunku in Bolivia, the intricate stonework at Sacsayhuaman in Peru, the mysterious underground chambers at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. They all point to a global civilization with capabilities that conventional history can't explain. And just like in Egypt, authorities in these locations have implemented strict controls over excavation and research. Independent investigators are blocked, meaningful exploration is forbidden, and the truth remains buried beneath layers of academic bureaucracy and government red tape. Dunn's research suggests that these ancient sites weren't built randomly. They're positioned at specific locations where the Earth's electromagnetic field creates natural energy concentrations. The pyramids, for instance, sit at the exact center of the Earth's land masses.
You find that the Great Pyramid is essentially located at the center of the world's landmass.
A position that would maximize their ability to tap into planetary energy sources. The chambers inside the Great Pyramid are filled with quartz crystals embedded in the limestone. When subjected to pressure or vibration, quartz generates electricity through what's called the piezoelectric effect. Combine this with the pyramid's resonant frequency matching the Earth's natural vibration, and you have the components of a massive energy harvesting system. But here's the kicker. If this technology became public knowledge, it would make virtually every current form of energy production obsolete overnight. The economic and political ramifications would be catastrophic for the current power structure. The Archaeological Conspiracy. Mainstream archaeology has built its entire reputation on the narrative that human civilization has progressed in a straight line from primitive beginnings to our current technological sophistication. Ancient peoples were supposedly simple hunter-gatherers who gradually developed basic tools and simple construction techniques. This narrative isn't just wrong according to Dunn's research, it's deliberately misleading. The evidence for advanced ancient technology is overwhelming, but it threatens too many established interests to be acknowledged openly. Universities receive funding based on maintaining conventional historical timelines. Government agencies control archaeological sites to prevent discoveries that might upset geopolitical balances. Corporate interests ensure that technologies that could disrupt profitable industries remain hidden or discredited. Christopher Dunn's attempts to conduct serious research have been met with systematic obstruction. Permission requests are denied or buried in bureaucratic delays. When he does gain access to sites, his time is severely limited and his activities closely monitored. Other independent researchers report similar experiences. Ground-penetrating radar surveys are restricted. Soil samples can't be removed. Detailed measurements are prohibited. It's as if there's a coordinated effort to prevent anyone from gathering the evidence needed to prove what these ancient sites really were. Even when compelling evidence does surface, it's quickly dismissed by mainstream academics or explained away using increasingly implausible conventional theories. The cognitive dissonance is stunning. Rather than acknowledge that ancient peoples might have possessed advanced capabilities, the archaeological establishment prefers to maintain obviously inadequate explanations. The recent discoveries. The situation has become even more urgent with recent discoveries beneath the Giza Plateau. Advanced imaging technology has revealed structures that are far more extensive and sophisticated than anything previously imagined. We're talking about chambers large enough to house modern factories, tunnel systems that extend for miles underground, and architectural features that suggest purposes completely unrelated to burial or religious ceremonies. But instead of excitement about these incredible discoveries, the response from authorities has been silence and increased security. Access to the pyramid complex has become more restricted than ever. New regulations make it virtually impossible for independent researchers to conduct meaningful investigations. The message is clear: look, but don't touch. Wonder, but don't dig. Accept the official story, and don't ask uncomfortable questions about what might be hidden beneath your feet. If Dunn is right about the pyramid's function as a power plant, the implications for our current energy crisis are staggering. We're facing climate change, depleting fossil fuel reserves, and the dangers of nuclear power, while the solution to all these problems might be sitting right there in plain sight, carved in stone by our ancestors thousands of years ago. The technology isn't magic, it's physics. The same principles that allow quartz watches to keep perfect time, that enable modern piezoelectric generators to harvest energy from vibrations, that power our most advanced acoustic systems. The ancient builders simply understood these principles better than we do and applied them on a scale that dwarfs anything we've attempted. But accessing this knowledge requires more than just studying the visible structures. It requires a comprehensive excavation of the underground systems that formed the heart of these ancient power plants. And that's exactly what we're being prevented from doing: the global energy conspiracy. This brings us to perhaps the most disturbing aspect of Dunn's revelations. The suppression of pyramid excavation isn't just about protecting archaeological sites or preserving historical monuments. It's about protecting the most profitable industries on Earth from obsolescence. The global energy sector represents trillions of dollars in annual revenue. Oil companies, utility corporations, nuclear power conglomerates, their entire business model depends on maintaining scarcity and controlling energy distribution. Free, unlimited energy would destroy their monopoly overnight. Consider the geopolitical implications. Nations derive their power largely from their energy resources or their ability to control energy distribution. What happens to oil-producing countries if petroleum becomes irrelevant? What happens to nuclear powers if their technology becomes obsolete? What happens to the entire military-industrial complex that depends on energy-based conflicts? Universities and academic institutions play a crucial role in maintaining the suppression. Careers are built on supporting conventional narratives. Funding depends on not rocking the boat. Peer review processes ensure that revolutionary ideas are filtered out before they can reach the public. Christopher Dunn, despite his impressive credentials and decades of hands-on engineering experience, is dismissed as a fringe theorist by mainstream archaeology. His evidence is ignored, his methods criticized, and his conclusions rejected, not because they're scientifically invalid, but because they're institutionally inconvenient. This isn't science, it's ideology. Real science follows evidence wherever it leads, even if the destination is uncomfortable. What we're seeing with pyramid research is the opposite: predetermined conclusions defended against contrary evidence, regardless of how compelling that evidence might be. At its core, this is about humanity's right to its own history and its own technological heritage. These aren't just Egyptian monuments. They're human achievements that belong to all of us. The knowledge they contain could solve some of our species' greatest challenges. But instead of open investigation and public access to discoveries, we're getting secrecy, restriction, and official denial. The very people who should be most excited about advancing human knowledge are instead working to suppress it. Christopher Dunn's courage in continuing his research despite official opposition represents more than just scientific curiosity. It represents the human spirit's refusal to accept comfortable lies when uncomfortable truths are within reach. The way forward. So what can we do? How do we break through the barriers that prevent us from accessing our own ancient technological heritage? First, We need to support independent researchers like Christopher Dunn, who are willing to challenge conventional wisdom. Their work deserves funding, attention, and protection from institutional suppression. Second, we need to demand transparency from the authorities who control these ancient sites. Public pressure can sometimes accomplish what academic pressure cannot. These monuments were built by humans for humans. Their secrets shouldn't be hoarded by bureaucrats and special interests. Third, we need to keep asking the uncomfortable questions that mainstream science refuses to address. Why are the precision tolerances in ancient stone work tighter than what modern machinery can achieve? Why do the pyramid chambers resonate at specific frequencies that match Earth's electromagnetic field? Why are underground excavations so systematically restricted? The evidence is overwhelming when you know what to look for. The perfectly flat surfaces show no tool marks. The internal chambers are designed with acoustic properties that serve no burial purpose. The mathematical relationships that encode advanced knowledge of physics and astronomy. The global pattern of similar sites is positioned at electromagnetically significant locations. But perhaps the most damning evidence is the desperate effort to prevent further investigation. If the conventional explanation were correct, if the pyramids really were just elaborate tombs built with primitive tools, then unrestricted excavation should support that narrative. The fact that it's being prevented suggests that those in control know perfectly well what we'd find if we were allowed to look. Christopher Dunn didn't set out to uncover a conspiracy. He was simply an engineer trying to understand how ancient craftsmen achieved such remarkable precision. But the resistance he encountered, the systematic obstruction of his research, the official silence in response to his discoveries, all of this revealed a pattern of suppression that goes far beyond normal academic caution. Christopher Dunn's groundbreaking documentation. Christopher Dunn didn't keep his revolutionary discoveries to himself. Recognizing the earth-shattering implications of what he'd uncovered, he meticulously documented everything in his groundbreaking book, The Giza Power Plant: Technologies of Ancient Egypt. This isn't just another speculative theory about ancient mysteries. It's a comprehensive technical analysis backed by decades of hands-on engineering experience. The book reads like a detective story, but instead of searching for a criminal, Dunn is hunting for evidence of lost technology. Page after page, he presents photographic evidence, precise measurements, and detailed technical drawings that build an undeniable case for advanced ancient machining capabilities. The granite boxes in the Serapeum, the perfectly carved chambers in the Great Pyramid, the impossible precision of statue construction. It's all there, documented with the meticulous attention to detail you'd expect from a master craftsman. But Dunn didn't stop with just one book. His research continues to evolve, and he's made his findings accessible through his website, Giza Power. This online resource has become a treasure trove for anyone seeking to understand the true technological capabilities of ancient civilizations. The site features high-resolution photographs of the evidence, detailed technical explanations that even non-engineers can understand, and ongoing updates about new discoveries and research developments. What makes Dunn's work so compelling is that he's not an armchair theorist. He's actually been inside these structures, physically examined the evidence, and applied real-world engineering principles to understand what he was seeing. His website showcases this hands-on approach, featuring images of him taking measurements, examining surfaces, and demonstrating the precision that ancient builders achieved. The Giza Power website has become a rallying point for independent researchers and curious individuals who refuse to accept the conventional narrative about human technological development. It's where the suppressed evidence lives, documented and preserved for future generations, who may finally have the courage to dig deeper into our forbidden past. The truth is both simpler and more complex than most people realize. Simpler because the evidence is right there, carved in stone, waiting for anyone with the technical knowledge to recognize it. More complex because acknowledging this evidence would require completely restructuring our understanding of human history, ancient capabilities, and our current energy crisis. Christopher Dunn's revelation is not about we can't dig under the pyramids, it's about we're not allowed to dig under them. There's a difference between technical impossibility and official prohibition. One suggests engineering challenges, the other suggests deliberate concealment. The question isn't whether ancient civilizations possessed advanced technology. The evidence for that is overwhelming. The question is, what happens when we finally gain full access to that technology, and who benefits from ensuring that day never comes? Christopher Dunn claims that restrictions on excavating beneath ancient monuments are less about preservation and more about hiding groundbreaking discoveries, such as potential clean energy technology, lost historical truths, and advanced scientific knowledge that could transform civilization, but remain suppressed by authorities to maintain the status quo. What are your thoughts? Are we being intentionally kept from our own technological heritage? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to hear your thoughts on this mind-blowing revelation.